Hello, hello. We are back. It's another Friday. I'm working on well, 3 journals actually. I was going through my books of Washington images and I pulled out enough pictures that I liked and I'm like, ooh. And I just kept pulling and pulling and pulling. And then when I sat down to look at them all, I'm like, ooh, I can make three separate journals. So I have 3 journals on the go. I've already sewn the signatures in. Don't need to do that on camera. I think you've seen me do it enough times if you watched me make journals before, as well as other channels. It's a basic 3-hole pamphlet stitch. But I've got some pockets and stuff set up in here that I've decided where I'm going to put them. And then we'll kind of go from there because I'm probably going to need more pockets. But so I'm going to have a true crime playing in the background. Hope you guys don't mind.
Seen playing in the front yard of his grandparents' property.
All right.
The person who has withdrawn their cooperation is now considered a suspect.
Are you hopeful Gus will be found?
Corner pocket.
About the disappearance of his grandson?
I know that I've been accused of...
I cut this out and I just put another piece of paper, glued it on the edge there, just to give that, you know, that edge some support. Ooh, I need to glue that down a little better. But I am gluing just on the short bottom and then on this long edge here.
That's an emotional Josie Murray speaking for the first time.
My glue's working on
Welcome to Spotlight.
making its decision whether or not it's going to work tonight or not.
Lamont's grandmother since the 4-year-old disappeared from the family's Outback farm in September last year.
I could have stenciled that,
Australian police since
but
they named the suspect. Josie is angry, frustrated, and devastated.
this I'm going to put right here, but as you can see, it's just a little big on both ends. So to kind of keep that where it is, yeah, the V. I'm gonna trim it this direction.
Hannah, this is
I'm gonna trim the ends off.
all of Australia intrigued. Obviously, a child is
So it
missing.
fits this way, and I'm also going to trim it back.
What makes it more intriguing, do you think?
I think the
Let me go out to the
vastness of where this
living room and
happened.
get my cutter.
It is so remote. How does a child go missing and just vanish without even a trace? Not a hat, not a t-shirt. There's no spot of blood. There's no piece of hair. There is nothing. It's just like Gus's vanished into thin air.
So this paper came out of a photo album that I found at a secondhand store that I took apart. Like I can't see where that is. Okay. Sorry, I'm going to be down on the bottom out of view at the moment.
Can you tell me anything more
My
about
desk does not really have room for much of anything right now.
He was fairly quiet. He would get upset occasionally.
And then I'm going to take
That's normal. He loved being on the swing out the
maybe a half-inch
side
off
of the
the
house
end.
there. He loved his push bike, pushing that around and just letting it roll down the hill with him seated on it. Happy almost, perhaps not more than you'd expect, but he was happy most of the time.
Let's see how.
And again, for James,
See if I
just
need to
a
go
really
more.
happy,
I like that.
old chum. He loved sitting in the lounge, being read to or reading his own books. He used to.
All right, get my walnut stain out.
Drag them all out on the floor and go through them and read whatever he could understand from them. Not sure it was more than pictures, but yeah, he was a bookish kid, you'd almost call him as well. He was quite happy to go and play on his own a lot of the time. You'd often hear him down at the shed, you know, he's got a fixation on opening and closing the Hilux doors at one stage, and you'd hear his bang, bang.
Once I get all the pockets in, I'll go back and decide whether I'm going to decorate or embellish these kind of pockets. And as you can see, this is made out of the back of an envelope.
Josie and Gus, they were close. And she saw Gus as the child who could take over the property they love so much and keep it in the family. You know, Gus was the apple of their eyes.
And that bond is certainly backed up by family friend Bill, who you've sat down and spoken with as well.
That's right. How would you describe Josie? You've known her for, what, 60 years?
I guess you'd have to say
Because I have a little bit showing on the top and bottom, I've slid it in just ever so slightly, just to give a matte edge.
pretty studious.
And did I say I read this page came out of a photo album, a Hawaiian type photo album, and it was too big
How would you
to fit in
describe
any journal, no matter what
organization?
size. Even this one that's bigger, both width and height is bigger than what I normally do, still didn't fit. So, yeah. Okay.
Place. Very hard to
My desk and I right now are having a difficult negotiation that
Called Yunta.
it is currently winning.
About
I have
300
a little fabric flip that I made.
It's in the middle of nowhere. I call it nowhere land. We have
Fabric flips.
2 petrol stations
Yeah, it can serve different purposes.
and
Gives a different texture, something to feel. And this is using the fabric from the cover, the fabric from the inside cover, piece of lace, another piece of lace here, some more fabric here. And again, it's just about having touchy-feely.
that town, it's another 40 minutes.
And when you lift it up,
Oak Park Station.
there's, stuff underneath.
Gates that
Could
you
be
have to
images, could be a
open
writing
close to get
space.
through. You say,
I will go
"No,
back
but
on
it really
all
is.
of my,
You can't see anything. And you
under all
have
my
to
journal
keep
flips and put in coffee dyed writing space. This is placemat. It's quite thin. I'm going to do this as a pocket, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this on just to give it some strength.
Josie Murray
And
is
it'll
the
also
grandparent
decorate this
of Gus. Jess is
back
her
page.
daughter,
But
Shannon Murray.
let's make it
She
straight
is the
here.
former partner of Josie Murray and the other grandparent to little Gus. And there is also another child in this that some people might not realise, but there's a baby Ronnie, who was 1.
And where was Gus's dad on that day?
Gus's dad wasn't at the property.
And for clarity, we should explain.
It's really crooked.
Josie transitioned in the early 90s.
Shannon and Josie, they were married.
Husband and wife on the property.
Yes.
Okay.
And then
So this
changed.
gluing
Josie
all the way down.
transitioned to a woman, and they are no longer together, but they are really good friends, and they run a business together, and they are business partners, and they run the farm together.
And share grandparent responsibilities of little Gus and his brother.
That's right.
Same with this side because this is just about strengthening.
Just talking about Gus as a little character, as a little kid. Yeah, I think it's fair to say he was a free spirit on that farm. This is a kid who didn't notice he.
Let's curve these corners since it's on a
From what I've been told, he was adventurous.
placemat that's curvy.
Big smile. Loved to
Should have did
explore.
that before I glued it
The
on.
land was his playground.
Okay, and again, this side's being glued completely down.
You want a nice, peaceful life? You got children and you're worried about the city. What's going to happen?
Okay.
It's a good place, I suppose, to bring up kids. It's
And
safe.
then this.
You know that the kids can play out in the yard. Nobody's
I'm
going
just going to glue this edge and this edge.
He often
Now, for the most part, I am going to be using my Fabri-Tac because these pictures are glossy. And I don't know that glue stick would really hold stuff very well.
He'd never go very far, but he would certainly walk around the homestead to the far reaches of the house.
These are fun.
Call it that.
Galagustinelli. Take a,
Check it, but
paper that's got images on one side, stuff on the other side you may not want. Could be just words or text. In this case, it was another picture. Do little strips of paper, and it creates a writing space. This is eco-dyed paper that I just got done doing not that long ago. And this is going to be a belly band that I'm going to put here. So first thing I'm going to do is trim this.
And he had wandered off, and Shan couldn't find him.
Right there.
She was going to come home, so she came home and told us, Gus has gone for a walk somewhere. Jess and I thought, well, we better get on the motorbike and just go and find him. So we did that, and I was the one who found him, and he was probably 120 metres away from where he walked off from, and he was walking back.
And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to score.
Sung out to him, he just looked over at me and just said, yeah, no problem, and just walking back to the Shears scored it. Jess went over on the motorbike and picked him up, and he wasn't concerned, so he wasn't lost or anything. He'd just gone for a walk.
Just scoring in an eighth of an inch.
Gus had wandered off and this time hadn't come back.
That's right. The family knew this time.
And
this
that's
was
just
our
giving
character, and there was possibly
full
something
strength on that edge. I'm also going to miter those corners. And that just keeps it from, when you fold the flap, keeps the flap corner from poking out where you can see it.
I remember looking at my watch when we put the sheep through into the right paddock, and it was 10 past, so and we drove straight back without any hold-ups. So yeah, right back there at 5:30.
It's not really doing much of anything besides, taking the white
On the
off.
front veranda, and Shan said that Gus was just down near what we call the bomb shelter playing, and when we had a look, no sign. And we said to Shan, when did you last see him? And she said 5 o'clock. And so in that half hour time frame, he disappeared.
I'm just gluing that edge down. So that way when you're sliding stuff in and out.
We were a little bit concerned about the cellar we were building because it was...
Do I want to do a side pocket or an actual belly band?
That's one of the first things we did. We looked, there was no sign that he'd been down there, no blood on the...
I kind of like this. I think I'm going to do this as a belly band. I think I said that initially anyway.
So then Jess and I walked around all the
Score this side.
and checking all the swimming pool just in case he managed to somehow open the gate, which is he'd have to be 6 foot tall to do it. And checked whatever else we could, and still couldn't find him. So we had a quick conference and decided what to do, and we decided we better jump on the bikes and go and look.
Ranger offers over 1 million high-quality products, from motors and belts to switches and sensors, helping maintenance engineers keep production lines moving. Call, click, or stop by. Ranger, for the ones
Put some
who
glue
get it
there. Glue this flap.
I remember saying to Jess at one stage, we've got 45 minutes of daylight that night. So what that time was, I don't know, but after we'd searched on foot, but I remember saying we've got 45 minutes of daylight, we better get with it. We were concentrating.
Okay, those edges are glued down, so now I'm just going to glue across the top, across the bottom. Could be the other way around. I won't know till I flip it. See? Yep. We're going to go ahead and put this as an uppy downy belly band. So I have a card that'll slide in under there. Now, you'll see that the pages are staggered. That was my doing. When I measured this, I counted wrong on my ruler. It was supposed to be 9 3/4, and I cut everything at 8 3/4. So, yeah. So this is a pocket that I made out of the book page from the book. I made it extra wide so I can make flaps here, and I have the flap here.
Um,
Also, glued down.
Later and later. When do
I'm going to give this just a little thumb pull. I don't want to go too far because
out there?
Yeah, so we understand that an officer named Luke was the first one to arrive from a nearby town. After that officer arrived, there was a second one on his way.
again, we're just getting rid of that white edge.
Outside the house,
Okay.
trying to spot his flashing lights.
So I have the gusset on the sides, but not on the bottom.
Trying to describe how he should get to the property, and I kept
So the
saying,
bottom, I'm just going to go single line.
"Said, come in on the road."
Come on. Had a glue web.
Eventually, he just gave up and went back to our room. So he actually never arrived on the property. While Luke was there, I got in the vehicle with him and went down to the cottage, and we searched that and the shearers' quarters, all the buildings down there, the sheds, and then up to the shearing shed and checked all that. And I'm pretty sure we did the tanks and everything. out
Western
there,
Washington.
because everyone automatically jumps to conclusions that it could be there, even though we'd already checked them 2 or 3 times by that stage. Bit later
This
that night,
is
Stan
pockets
and I
made
went
from
out in the buggy again, and we
magazine on the inside. So it's a pocket it's covered with a magazine, giving it strength and something for ink,
was actually out there,
something else for ink to stick to. And then it is chewy.
cleaned up, and
The
run over very easily. So we were being very
pet
careful, just
supply company.
quietly, probably 10, 15
But
k's an
I
hour.
need some straight scissors because I do need to trim this down.
Along the roads because,
Just
as
a-
Jess said, and we're
just
all
a hair.
fairly sure that if he had gone for a walk, he would have walked along the road because that's what he did.
That side.
Remote family sheep station, now the centre of a major police operation.
Take a little bit off of this side.
Search the terrain, the temperatures, the size, and the scale that we're dealing with here.
Okay.
So the first search, they covered 60,000 hectares.
So again, I could stencil on this. I'm gonna go ahead and glue the pocket. If I decide to stencil it later, I can.
So much area of the land.
I got a little bit of the brown paper wanting to come off here.
Scale of the
But get this to
and ground search as
stay
part
in
of
my
this
hand here.
investigation is unprecedented.
So stick some in there.
Certainly, the family at the very beginning believed it was just a matter of time before he was found.
So again, you put the glue on the
next day,
on the shorter of the two. That helps you not put glue where you don't want it.
that hope started to fade.
Here's the center of my
and
book.
I got a sense that panic was starting to set in.
I'm like, I hope I put everything in here right side up.
The disappearance of Gus
Okay.
Lamont.
And then here's the other side.
And this bedstead had been
Just gonna
moved.
put some walnut stain on there.
Police told you that you're a main suspect.
And like I said, if I decide that I want to stencil this, I can. I stick a piece of paper down in there.
This is a final warning. Your PDF reader version is outdated.
Okay, this.
Once you update it, you will be unable to open your files. As we have mentioned repeatedly, simply clicking Update will resolve this issue immediately. Please give it a try. It will boost your file loading speed by 200%.
This is also, this paper is quite thin. So I try to give it some support on the back if at all possible. So in this case, I'm going to do
Went back veranda with the dogs while they're having their dinner.
this other side of an envelope.
Ow, why?
Do I want the window closest that way or the window this way?
We just can't believe it.
I'm going to go this way. Doesn't really need a thumb notch, but
Something
I
extraordinary.
do like the look of it, so I'm going to put a little one there.
Young Gus disappeared. What was that?
It seemed that in the hours before police arrived, there was possible evidence of someone else being on that property. We've never heard this before.
I'm not sure what I'm going to put there.
There was a bedstead there that
Here,
we'd set up
2 short
to
sides, 1 long
show
side.
what it was,
Hold
and
the side that you
bedstead
don't want to
had been
glue.
moved not quite 180 degrees, but certainly a quite a substantial amount from when I last saw it. And I thought, what the hell's happened there? And it was reasonably heavy. A child would not be able to shift it. And this bedstead had been moved, and I also saw what we call the weather station had been moved. I'm not sure when that happened, but it appeared to be something had happened there. And I then walked up past where the bedstead was.
And we got
and thought, well, I better not
a
move
map.
it, 'cause this could be an indication of something.
Part of Washington.
Then I saw wheel
Washington,
tracks going
Oregon.
down past
Oh, Woodland, huh?
bedstead was, and past
But
where
this
the
is an
weather
upper
station was.
corner.
And these
So I'm gonna
wheel
hold, and
tracks
I've
were a small
again
tire, medium-sized car, and
strengthened that
not much
edge,
tread on
and
it,
I'm going to
not
put
a
glue on the opposite
off-road
too.
type tread. It was definitely a passenger type, and I thought that's strange too. And I started to think almost immediately.
Sorry,
I wonder if
Woodland is
someone's
where
come
little dude's mom's boyfriend lives.
in. And all the time I was thinking, there's a chance that he's been taken by someone.
Do you want to try to get those up on the edge? That'll trim off
I was frankly
Just-
horrified
just a little bit.
at the number of vehicles that were parked around our house, because we hadn't actually seen them come in.
Okay. Another page I'm not sure what I'm going to do with. There's the other half of that.
Any chance
This is what Gail lovingly calls the 5-pocket pocket. So you have 1, 2, 3,
the road
4, 5
up
pockets.
and starting to get dusty and
Hold the
that
side I
made a
don't want
mess.
glued.
One
And as you can
instance
see,
we have, and again, the police
as you cannot see,
apologised to us afterwards, because
I've
I saw
stenciled
footprints
the
in one of
background.
dams. The dam was nearly dry, it was mostly mud, and I found these footprints in the dam, and I took photographs of it, and we actually took one of Gus's boots out there, and I laid it next to this
5-pocket
footprint,
pocket.
took a photograph of it, and I said, it's got to be him. It's got to be him because it's the right size. And the police kept on saying that no, that it was a police diver. Yeah,
There
this
goes.
guy must have had a size, or someone said it's smaller than a size 4 lady's footprint, and he must have had tiny feet. And
Got
the
me.
superintendent admitted to me that was a mistake.
Okay.
So in
And
the
we have
recent
this. Again, I'm going to strengthen this
Gus,
pocket.
perhaps early evidence, early
I got to
signs
straighten this out because
about
I
someone
didn't
else
cut
being
it straight.
property might have lost.
That is what her concern is now.
It is fair to say that Josie doesn't have a lot of time for South Australia Police.
She's told me she's not happy with how this investigation has gone or the case of her grandson has been handled.
It was admitted to me later that they think that that was a mistake to come in with all those vehicles so early when they should have actually got the tracker guy from Port Augusta who'd been on our place tracking dogs and trapping them. And we needed to get him there while there was still a chance to find the tracks, but he didn't get there till 2 or 3 days after Gus went missing.
Final warning. Your PDF reader is outdated. If you don't update it, you won't be able to open files. I've told you that many times already. Click Update to fix the problem instantly. Try it.
Between them and McAfee constantly messaging to tell me that,
There's signs that
I'm out of-
something has occurred in front of
out
the
of
right
date
shoulder,
and
and that was
I've
where
got
Gus was
12 hours
when
to
we last saw
respond.
him, and
Before I lose all my data and my phone gets corrupted and blah blah, and I'm like,
rule out
It's funny, I've had 12 hours to respond for a week and a half.
rule out that he'd actually been taken. I said, I don't know. And so that's the way I left
So
it.
this we're gonna put here.
What are you leaning towards now?
Again, that's just strengthening that little flippy flap. Now I do have some fun little stuff over here.
Supposedly 700 people were on our property at any one time. Now, the important
Let's
people
glue
in
this
all that
down.
are the locals. It's our job to find things out there. This is what we do. And as time went on, I was getting more and more convinced when we couldn't find anything. We couldn't find a shoe, a hat, any sign of a top, nothing. We could not find a thing, and everyone said the same thing. This is ridiculous. There would be something out here. There has to be something.
This now leads us to a range of theories and possibilities. What has been speculated about what happened to Gus?
Well, the possibilities are sort of endless at this stage because the only evidence is no evidence. So, abduction is a possibility. Wildlife, being taken by wildlife is a possibility.
If wildlife is a possibility, my bet would be wedge-tailed eagles. Wedge-tailed eagle can pick up a 20-25 kilogram kangaroo and take it without much difficulty. Gus was 13 or 14 kilograms, so a mature wedge-tailed eagle would find that quite comfortable.
Glad when I went off of there, I went off on the plastic.
But we've also had theories, wild theories from across the world. Police have had
This
tips
is
from
cereal bag,
Syria.
cardboard, and gesso.
That's been one of the phone calls I've had.
And I'm gluing
so many. And the sightings from
on
both
the
these
sewing,
have been
on the
discounted.
stitches.
But because there is nothing, you have to follow up every tip, and there are hundreds.
Because that will
is
help
a
it
huge
stick
amount of work for police.
to the paper.
If he died of exhaustion, you would have seen the eagles, the hawks, the ravens, all around the area. You would have seen it.
Giving that a squish.
Whether he's alive or he's dead, God only knows. But the only good thing
And then
about it
this is also a pocket.
someone has taken him as
This is also a pocket behind it, and there's a pocket here.
He may still be alive.
Pocket here, and a pocket here. Definitely gotta let that glue really dry though. With this little pocket here,
This year,
I was trying to
police
decide
held
what I
press
wanted to
conference,
do,
and they declare his case a major crime,
because
telling
yeah.
us that he was likely killed or his body
this
disposed
would
of.
tear very easily. I think what I'm gonna do, because I can't get that white paper off either,
They did not disclose any
is I'm gonna
evidence
fold it
that
at
they may or may not have.
To your knowledge, has there been forensic evidence found to
those
support that
holes.
major crime theory?
Not to my knowledge.
But this is a big development. They're putting it squarely back on involvement within the family.
That's right. In that press conference, abduction, unlikely. Every taken by wildlife, unlikely. So
Those
back
are
to the
coming
family
off,
we
but
go.
this one won't come off very easily. I ripped it when I tried the first time. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna glue this under.
Is now considered a suspect in the disappearance of Gus. I do want to stress, however, that Gus's parents are not suspects in his disappearance.
I glue this down first.
So they declare a major crime, but they don't announce any charges. They don't prosecute anyone.
And then
At this
glue this.
stage, we still have
Then glue the pocket.
no charges. A main suspect, but no charges. How do you think
I can add to
South
this
Australian
edge if I
police have
feel
handled this
I
investigation?
need to in the future.
Seem to have tunnel vision, and it's getting to the point of almost being
Okay.
vindictive.
There's the last of those, of that one. What are we at?
think there's been any discrimination?
We're only at
against
30
judges?
minutes. So this is an envelope. It's dyed with a stencil on it. There's a pocket here.
Josie is a transgender. I challenged the police about this, that they were targeting her because of her transgender situation. And
Also should have done this
they
before I
were
sewed them in.
offended that I should say it.
Your PDF application has expired. If you don't update now, you may no longer be able to open any PDF
Seriously?
files.
Go
Just
away.
So when police declared this a major crime, the family stopped speaking to them. They both hired high-profile lawyers and haven't spoken to them directly since. They haven't been happy with how the search was handled in the first place.
That just
And
gives
now
more
they're being targeted
room.
as
You don't have to deal with the little flappies that go all the way up to the...
All of them, or just Josie?
just Josie.
Up next,
They think
So,
that I buried
pocket there. Got a pocket there. Pocket there.
Do you think he's still alive?
Let's get this one. I'm gonna do the same thing on this side. Stay.
9 months on from Gus's disappearance, his grandmother Josie Murray remains a suspect. Now, for the first time, what police have told her and what she wants to say to police.
Gluing that flap down. Again, that's just strengthening that edge for things sliding in and out. I may decorate it later.
Have police told you that you're a main suspect in the case of Gus's disappearance?
They've said that they don't think
So,
I hurt
side
him.
tuck
They
here.
think that I buried him.
Oh,
That's
I'm
one of the
upside down.
theories they're working on. And as I say, that's
Okay.
well,
We have a fabric flip.
so many reasons.
I have just a decorated page. We have another side pocket.
Doesn't make sense. Why would you do that to yourself when you know that okay,
Writing
if you had an
space.
accident, you
Writing
just go,
space.
you know, much
Belly
as we
band.
hate it and everything, he's had an accident, right?
Pocket.
We've
Pocket.
got to deal with it.
Center
Gus was
pocket.
gonna hand over the farm to eventually.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing why it's ludicrous. Why would a 70-year-old like myself and like Shan be working, which we are, I tend to probably work close to 70 hours a week. I don't stop for weekends or anything. I
Pocket.
just keep working every
Pocket.
day like that.
Pocket.
Why would I do that at this age if I don't intend to try and hand the property over to Jess and the two boys in the best
I want like a
possible
small
condition we could do it?
pocket to go right here, maybe.
I've been accused of taking him from
I have the little envelope flap here.
and died and taking him out and burying him, but to think that I could actually
And I could
go
glue
out
this down and make this into a small pocket.
and do something like that,
Maybe I will. You won't see the
that I would be stupid enough to do
pattern
for
stencil
starters,
on
is
it.
ludicrous. And to think that I could face up to the trauma of doing that would also be ridiculous. There's no way, under those, when it's so dry and dusty like that, there's no way you can bury something without leaving evidence that the ground has been disturbed. And the amount of searching that went on, aerial,
I'm actually pleasantly surprised at how
the drones with everything, you would see signs
I don't think I need more pockets.
of someone being buried.
At least not in this one. I do wish I had something. I'll probably do a torn paper or something here.
Again, ridiculous to think that he'd gone into
So
the
I
dam.
have a stack
Weed all around the dam, and if
of things that
gone in there, if we'd put him in the dam or if he'd walked into the dam or anything,
I've covered with
disturb that
paper.
read it and to be damn obvious.
These are double journaling cards.
Ruled out. Abduction.
Almost certainly.
Won't fit in the
I believe it
envelope.
is so unlikely that
Okay.
a stranger
Got one for each.
would be so opportunistic to go into a property so remote.
The
That
one
there.
that's so laughable is the one that the head of the major
Want something tall.
said that there was only four-wheel drive access to Oak Park, so there was no chance of abduction. And I mean that's absurd because the Hilux they've taken down there to do tests on is a two-wheel drive. Shan's got a two-wheel drive. Jess has got a two-wheel drive. The buggy's a two-wheel drive. I mean it's laughable.
Around here, we see a lot of people headed. No matter where they're going, we just make sure they're ready. Before you hit the road, get a free-trip safety check at Les Schwab Tires. It's free. If we can't guarantee it, we won't sell it.
I don't know why that just grabbed the way it did. We're going to shorten that up a little bit.
The other thing that they said was that the footage on the security cameras on the property next door, where you come in from Yunta Road, showed that no one had come out to Oak Park in that time frame.
Okay.
So I identified all the sites, and there was one I wasn't 100% sure of until I got a better view of it, and then I could see the trees, and I said, oh, and that's the one that's on the road in from Yunta, at what we call Breakneck Creek. And this bloke said, oh, well, that wasn't working at the time. And I thought, again, lie, because they told me that he couldn't have been taken because no one came in and no one showed up on the cameras, and then they tell me the camera wasn't working. So again, it's false. There's just been so much of this falseness overall.
I'm also going to Google Lens a lot of these because I tore the book apart a couple years ago. So I have no idea where some of these are. I know this is Tacoma because there's the Tacoma Dome.
As simple as that. But usually we've got the dogs there
But
on
as far as this, I don't know what it is. I don't know where it is. So I'm going to make
someone else drove into the
little
house,
labels,
you'd hear them barking
identification labels,
Of course,
to put
we
on
got checked,
these.
so we had all the dogs with us. Just bad luck.
Look, everybody here is
And these are
concerned.
floppy. I left them very
They are
thin on
concerned.
purpose.
They're not only just concerned about the little one missing, but they're concerned about the family as well. I don't know. I don't know how they can handle it. Because it wouldn't be an easy thing.
You know, we haven't got a body, we haven't got a live body, we haven't got a dead body, we have no idea of quite where he is. But we feel that, yes, he has been taken.
Looking for something with water. Dang it.
Her emotions.
Still dropping stuff.
And then when you sit down with her, her emotions in this interview, because they're very different.
Very. So throughout the search, she's been incredibly hostile, only ever swearing at the media and sneering even. I haven't seen any emotion from her during the searches, and there's been 11. But it's clear she's very sad and she is broken, and the pressure this family has been under, the toll that it's taken is unfathomable.
I didn't want to go too thick on the journal cards and stuff because
Sorry.
the paper is fairly thick.
You just suddenly be hit by the horror, the enormity of this, and Jess probably more so. But Jess is not quite so prone to talk about it, particularly to me, if you like. But yeah, it's just, and then to be accused of doing something like this is just, we could not wish a more horrible
like one that I don't have to trim, but
Break your heart.
I don't know that I'm gonna get that lucky. This, I have no idea where that is.
And I guess we live in the hope that this is a benign abduction and he's still out there somewhere, and it just
Church in a church.
stages, hopefully soon, someone's going to see him and go, right, and notify the authorities. And
Something else, not a clue
it's
where that is.
to go from living a quiet time up
Yeah, I
there,
like
which is
that,
upset
but
to a lot of
you gotta
people,
trim
but
it.
we tend to have a quiet time up there, away from all the nonsense that goes on in the rest of the world, and then to have something thrust on us like this is, I cannot describe how we feel about it.
Next,
It's cut really crooked anyway.
what does a forensic criminologist make of this interview?
Well, you wouldn't do that if you were innocent, or you wouldn't do that if you were guilty.
Months after Gus Lamont vanished in South Australia, we're still no closer to knowing what happened. Now, for the first time, we're hearing from one of the last people to see him, his grandmother, Josie Murray. And we've shown the interview to a criminal psychologist for fresh insight.
I have a
into this
whole
mystery.
stack of images sitting on my couch
Has just killed Botox for
in the
good.
living room,
While
so
Arnica depuffs and brightens the complexion, Botox just fills it up with stiffness and swelling. Arnica boosts
fit under
circulation,
there?
helping skin look
yeah,
clearer,
it would if it
fresher,
wasn't
and
glued
more
in the
awake.
wrong
Botox
places.
freezes muscles, shutting down expression instead of supporting skin health. Here's the secret: beautiful skin starts with healthy skin, not with quick cover.
Don't know. This is a logging. Oh, see, I gotta trim it anyway.
By producing powerful
My goodness.
compounds. A small brand from Norway picked up on this and created the most hyper-potent natural skincare you can find. Made entirely with
Guess I was getting tired on that one.
beeswax. In just 2 weeks, women over 40 reported brighter looking skin.
I think I've driven past this place,
Healthy, bouncier, and
but I don't remember where it's at.
day
So I'll have
after
to
day. Try it risk-free with
Google
a
Lens
money-back
it.
guarantee and a huge discount on your first order.
Like I said, if I can find information, I'm gonna make little labels to go on each picture, identifying where they're at. So this is going down in. I do have a couple tags in here.
Tim Duncan or Kevin Garnett? Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan or LeBron James?
LeBron James.
LeBron James or Michael Jordan?
Say it at the same time. 3, 2, 1. LeBron James. I'm just giving it to Michael Jordan for the playoffs.
Just dropped a bunch of stuff.
LeBron's your GOAT, though. No, he is. But I'm saying postseason career, you win 6 finals, you never lost. Old heads win before.
Jumped right out of my hand.
Police with what might they look at in Josie's interview in terms of their investigation?
The investigation team know the materials that they've gathered in this investigation.
We've
and
got
a
pocket
tiny
here,
fraction of that, I'm sure, is what is publicly
pocket
available
there.
for good reason. They would be interested in looking at the account that Josie gives in this interview, looking at how that compares to other information they have gathered. They would presumably be looking at how she presents as well, but something that I've focused on in the detectives training that I provide is not to make any assumptions about body language. It is notoriously flawed in producing any conclusions about whether somebody is truth-telling or potentially deceptive. So something I've focused a lot is ensuring that people focus more on the quality of the evidence that they can extract from an interview.
How important is it then that the investigators, I guess to put it simply, don't judge a book by its cover?
It's extremely important that investigators keep an open mind, and I think for the community as well, because we're in a world where there is a lot of public judgment and immediate decision making, and it may turn out in the end that certain avenues are confirmed. It may turn out that they're very wrong, and if they're wrong, what's the harm that's been done in the meantime.
I was looking for something water focused.
Until now, we haven't seen the emotion in Josie, and she's been identified as the main suspect. In fact, we've seen hostility. She's barged media outside of court. She's been very angry with a lot of people on her property. From an investigator's point of view, do you have to be careful about judging that character or those characteristics in the context of this case, a missing child?
Absolutely. And look, I think, for the general public, as humans, it's our tendency to see every event through our filter
We get
of
another
our experiences
tall
and what
side
we've been
pocket.
previously exposed to. And so we can be very quick to judge,
With a window.
well, you wouldn't do that if you were innocent, or you wouldn't do that if you were guilty. But if we haven't lived through that experience, we can't really say that.
There's no sign that he'd been down there, no blood on the concrete floor, nothing.
Hey, I like that. The car shows through.
Interview. Broadly, what are your impressions of her and what she's saying?
I think to
So, sorry, I just realized I'm
out
like
there and
way off camera.
address questions. And there
I'm
can be different motivations
just snipping
for
the
that,
corners,
but
rounding them
regardless
off.
of the situation, I think it's pretty brave because you're putting yourself out there for further public
on.
commentary and debate and speculation.
Josie
Didn't
Murray
want
has
to
told
trim.
us that she has concerns that perhaps
So yeah,
early
going in.
evidence
You see the little
was
car in the window.
missed
I like it.
or lost in the rush to find Gus.
Okay, and then we've got it up
Priority
tuck.
of police then, from an investigative point of view, at the time when they arrived.
Certainly, I know from many missing persons investigations that I've assisted the police with, we have to keep in mind that priority of people are desperate to
I want
find
to shorten
a
this.
child and as quickly as possible. But there are also those protocols of anyone who is missing, as police would be
I'm like
trying to
watching
ensure
this little pile over
evidence
here every time I
preservation
move my
needs to be a top
every time I
consideration
grab
as
my
well from the very beginning,
cutter,
because
my pile
evidence can be lost very
starts
quickly. But
weaving,
it is I know
bobbing,
it is a real
bobbing and
challenge for
weaving. I'm like,
investigators
I'm
with
about to have a
responding
craft a
police
lunch.
to manage both of those priorities.
We're on the front veranda and Shannon
So,
said
watched the football.
Gus was just down near what we call the bomb shelter playing.
Given they have no forensic evidence that we're aware of, we finally have words.
Right
and in
there,
those words are
there.
emotions.
Had to put paper in this.
Does this help police?
Got a tuck, a
Have they got
pocket,
bit more to go
a
on than
tuck.
they had last week?
Well,
And a
I'm
pocket.
hopeful that this might
I need a something.
actually
I
enable
need a. I
Josie
need
to feel
something
that she's
small.
able to have her say, and that potentially doors may be opened on both sides for
Right.
more information from Josie to be explored, and potentially, if Josie feels that she has been listened to and been able to put
This
her
one?
perspective or the family's
Nope.
perspective or both, then potentially there's an avenue for more discussion with investigators that would help find out what's happened
Oh,
to
that
Gus.
goes that way.
What would your message be to the public and to authorities now?
When I need to buy a sign for work or for our home, I go to smartsign.com.
I order fantastic safety signs and labels. Glow-in-the-dark signs. I got fantastic bathroom signs.
You can even order custom signs. Mom's gotta lay down the law.
At SmartSign, we've been making signs in the U.S. for over 100 years. You can trust SmartSign, America's top online sign retailer.
Every 4 years, the world locks in, and I can't get enough. That's why I'm so excited about this new app, TikTok Pro Events. It has a fan hub for
That
all
cool.
the passions people love, like soccer. And
there
for
we
all
go.
the best creators and content in one.
The sunken ships,
Just
but
by
they're all like in a
liking and
row.
searching, you earn stars that you can redeem for jerseys, merch, and even charity donations.
Those fit in
all
there?
for engaging with the content you already love. So download TikTok
A
Pro
little
Events.
tight.
It's made for the fans.
Rodeo. And there's another part of that. thought I was going to have enough.
All right, whenever you're ready, I suppose. Good to go, yeah. Good to go. Detective Chief Superintendent Darren Filkey from Major Crime Investigation Branch. Gus's grandparents, who continue to reside here at Oak Park Station, represented by solicitors.
Ooh, I like
All
that.
communications that Task Force Horizon are having with Gus's grandparents are through the solicitors. One of the grandparents of Gus remains a suspect in this investigation.
What would your message be to the public and to authorities now?
Keep looking for
There is a pocket behind this, like I was saying when I was gluing it in.
Gus. Try and take it
So there's a pocket back here
as his crowning glory, but it's
behind
also
both, and then there's a pocket here in front.
most, and you have to take that hair away from that face.
I'll probably just
look
put
at that
writing
face,
paper behind that one.
and if I just saw the eyes of Gus, I would know him instantly because it's the way you are.
Do you think we will ever find out what happened to Gus?
I think there is a real possibility that this case will never be solved and we'll never know. And sadly, it could end up like a case like William Tyrrell or Madeleine McCann. It's as heartbreaking as it is to say. It's a very real possibility.
Last but
Cold
not
cases,
least,
no answers, no clues.
That's how it might stay. Is it hard being in the house?
A lot of his toys still around. We bought him a little two-wheel push bike for pedaling around with training wheels on. We thought he'd just about at that stage. That's still sitting in the lounge, and every time I walk past, I go, "Oh my God!"
how about we do the waterfall for this
There's
one?
all sorts of stuff that reminds me of him.
This situation won't finish until they find either a boy or a body. And,
Okay.
ultimately,
Now this one is not done.
Josie's
I'm going to go through, and like I said, I'm going to put some paper in some places.
bring to life.
We're devastated about what
Trim,
happened.
trim down a couple of
You
places.
go for a drive on any part of the Barrier Highway and you do think about that little boy Gus. I don't stop thinking about him. I pray that, somewhere along the line he's still around, he's still alive somewhere. That's what I think.
We don't feel that this is a horror story, if you like. And if you think about it, nothing else makes sense. Nothing else.
So
makes
for
sense.
now, this one is
It's still alive.
to be set aside because I'm going to have to make some more ephemera for it. So this is part 1 on book 1.
We asked South Australia Police for an interview in relation to Josie's allegations. They told us, sadly, despite 11 individual large-scale searches
So it's not too
of the
bad.
Oak Park Station,
Evening out. I'm also going to be putting something over the spine to cover up the blue thread here, but I did use blue because I wanted it to match well with my center page. So thanks for tuning in for this episode. It's 55 minutes, so we're ending just about right on time. Like I said, I've got more work to do on the outside. I'm also going to work on other tags and stuff that are not all made out of the glossy pictures. So we'll see that in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.